Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to work on this portulacaria afra. It's a cutting that I planted last summer, so maybe 9 months old. Well, the actual tree's older than that. It was a cutting that I planted that long ago, but this cutting was in a batch of, how you get these at a garden center where there's a bunch of cuttings in a pot. So that's where this one came from, and I've been developing it, like I said, for the last 8 months or so, and it's already got a decent little shape to it. Other than we've got some, you've heard of the rough bark or cork bark jades. This one is a squirrel bark jade. My squirrels, for some reason, they found my trees this year, and this is the least of the damage. Some of my other ones got really hit, and I'll be making some videos kind of showing you that and how I'm dealing with it. But this is one of them that got nibbled on, and I've tried to do, a couple things. I had spikes around this thing. I had, wire fencing around it, but the squirrels are, I don't know, they're pretty tenacious, and they can get to it if they want to. So, but now I've got a whole kind of a garden net or something that you put over raised garden beds or something like that, but I'll try to show you a picture of it. But now I've got all my better trees, especially my portulacarias, under this netting because they seem to like the portulacarias just because it's softer, probably getting some moisture out of the trunk. But I had ficuses and other things out, and they didn't bother those, but they really dug into some of my portulacarias. I had one a little bit thinner than this. They completely chewed it off. So I went out one day, and they had chewed the trunk right at the base, and the whole tree fell over, and I had a decent shape to it, and it's a little upsetting, but things happen and you deal with it. But anyway, so much for the squirrel talk. Like I said, this tree's been in development for about 8 months or so, and kind of liking the way it's shaping up. I've got a little wire just to add a little movement to the trunk, but we'll start in, because the way that I'm seeing this develop is, it's got a nice little dome up here on the right side. So I'm trying to develop that a little more, and then I'll develop this into a pad over on this side. This branch down here was a little longer, and I liked the way that was developing, but it broke off, because this branch here was out to here or so, and I was wanting to thicken that branch up and kind of have another pad out here just to kind of have a stair step, but this branch broke off, so I'm kind of reconfiguring it. I let these two shoots grow, maybe to use some of those, but this one's shooting right out towards the front, so I think I will get rid of that. And that's another nice thing about portulacarias, branch breaks off, it's going to shoot out some more stuff, so it usually gives you something to work with. But I still may try to develop this into something. I just have to let it grow. But to do that, I'd have to get rid of this one, which I think I will, because I don't think I'm going to use that in the future. Get these flush a little bit. And you don't have to get those quite, all the way flush, because that'll continue to dry out a little bit, and you can just knock off that little nub there that it develops. Just have some of these shoots up in here and get rid of those. Take some of this top growth down. Yeah, kind of back on squirrel talk, sorry. If you guys have any experience or had issues with squirrels, and what have you done to remedy the situation, if you could just drop that in the comment, and that way I can maybe learn something from it, and other people can too, because it is, like I said, they got a hold of one of my Frankie trees, just really aggravating. But yeah, it'd be nice to. I think I've got my problem solved with this canopy, kind of a net thing, but yeah, so I'd just be curious to see what anybody else is doing to deal with squirrels. That was very frustrating, to say the least. So I got some wire on this. I'm going to bring that branch down just a little bit. I might put some more wire to bring this other branch down, and that way I can continue this pad development over here. And then I don't know if I'll need this, if I can get these to come down and kind of fill this in. I don't know that I'll need that lower branch. But yeah, I think I will go ahead and get a little bit of wire. Let's see how I want to do that. I may, looks like I just have this little piece here. It's not really going out very far on this branch, so I think I'm going to take this off. And then kind of rewire those two. Yeah. I'll put some wire on that and bring both of those branches down. Let's see how long I need it. It should do it. And then back out here. They're pretty young branches, so it's not going to take a whole lot. This wire is probably a little bit thick to do this. I don't really like the idea that the wire is crossing the other wire, but in some cases it can't be helped. And like I said before, as long as the wire doesn't really distract you too much and gets the job done, that's all I'm in it for. Because this isn't going in any shows anytime soon, so it's still in development. So just still want to follow, some principles of, the 45 to 60 degree angles, and make sure it's wire's working for you, but I don't get too hung up on making it look exactly perfect. And wiring these small branches, you just kind of have to almost hold onto the wire and not really the branch, and kind of start twisting around, because they will break very easy. And when they're this young, I wrap the wire pretty loose, because you don't need to be that snug on them when they're young like this to get the job done. So we'll just bring that down like that. Bring this one down, just add a little movement to it. Yeah, looks good. And if you can't really tell, what I'm doing to it is not only adding a little bit of kind of swoop movement here, but looking at it on this flat plane. So if I would turn it up this way, I'm adding a little movement in the branch. So if you'd look at the branch from the top down, it's got a little snake in it like that. That's kind of what I'm doing. I can try to tip this up, but it might be a little hard to see. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. So I'm adding some S movement looking from the top down, and from the front it's kind of coming up, down, and then back up just a little bit at the end. I just like adding a little bit of movement in the branches, and then as they grow over time, that movement stays there, and it just adds a little bit of character to them. It's a little bit too much there. Down a little bit. There, that works. Get bent back a little bit, because I've got this branch here that's coming out towards the front. Take that back just a little. No, this one up here, I don't need that so close, because I want to see that branch move. And this back branch here, I could probably wire that one down to where it's kind of heading out towards the back. I've got this other back branch too. Just going to get too many wires wrapped around in there, so I think right now I could just hang something on that to pull it down, but I also want it to come back. Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and put something on there. And again, ignore the wire mess on this where I've got them overlapping and everything, but just trying to think how I can do that. Could just start it down here and head up the trunk. See if that'll anchor it enough. I'm not sure. But doesn't need to be a whole lot because the branch is pretty young. Like I said on the other one, just do it loose to get the job done. So looking at it from the front, so we'll get it to come straight out the back, and then give it a little movement off to the side, and then maybe even a little movement back. Maybe even a little more bend to it. Come this way, and then back. Yeah, so you can see it from the profile. It's got a little bit of a swoop, and then it's got movement on the horizontal plane too. So bring it down a little bit more. Yep. That way when that fills in, it'll give some depth in the back there. I don't really want it coming in over here because I kind of like that whole negative space there, and just kind of have the stuff kind of stair-stepping up on this side. Now the decision is on this branch. My first instinct tells me that I don't need it. Now that I've got this one, because this is kind of filling that space in, and I think bending this down is just going to look too odd. So I think I'm just going to get rid of that. Yeah, and just kind of let it develop like that, which isn't too bad in my opinion anyway. Just take some of these back. just a little bit. Continue that ramification. Spider webs in there. And we'll get this area filled in a little bit. Yeah, like I said, this, for being in development less than a year, give this tree another year or two, and it's, I mean, the trunk will continue to thicken up. It's already got a little bit of a flare down there, which is nice. The rock was to give it some stability initially, but I kind of like the way it looks in there. It gives it a little balance on this negative side. But yeah, happy with the progress. So far. Yep. All right, I think we'll leave that one there. Width looks good, front to back here. Maybe this could be taken back a little bit just to get it to branch out some more. This one too, even. Yeah, and then we'll get this to fill in, and it's on its way. All right, I think that'll do it. I'm gonna give you a quick spin around so you can see the whole tree. There's the front. There's the left side. There's the back. Right side. And back to the front. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.